Chad, here is your side view from the last lesson that we had. So anyway, I hope you are able to get some repetitions in this week. Remember we talked a lot about the front foot and how important that is for stabilization so that the hips can fire better. And the release point will stay consistent when your foot is in a consistent place and it's not rotating or spinning on you. Remember, you got to get that toe much more pointed towards the target. It's okay if it's a little bit closed off, but that foot's got to get grounded and it cannot move. The heel's got to stay down, the whole foot. You feel the whole foot hit the ground and you become part of the ground and let the body kind of explode over that. So you want to brace up that momentum so you're not tumbling down the hill catching yourself. You're catching yourself on that leg, and you've got powerful legs for your size. So you can do it. I've seen you do it already. So just keep that in mind as you go. And again, sometimes when the foot doesn't open up, Chad, it's because of a flexibility and a mobility issue. And it's obvious that you have very strong, tight muscle throughout your body. You're very muscular, and the way you're designed, you've got a lot of thickness. So it's just going to take some flexibility, conditioning for you to help overcome that. I mean, sometimes it's not just a motor skill. I think in your case, it might be both a motor skill and a flexibility issue. So I would ask your trainer to give you some good flexibility routines you can do with your hips, your hamstrings, your glutes, because all of that, and of course your groin, all of that is a result, or is a direct impact, has a direct impact on turning the front foot and turning the front knee at the right time. Okay, so I highly encourage you to do that because we can certainly do some of that in our lessons. Okay, but let's quickly go through some things here. Just to keep in the back of your mind, high velocity pitchers, okay, we talked about this the last time. They get off the rubber. They get off this line, so the body is inside that line by the time their leg lifts up. So we need to work a little bit on getting the back foot activated, a flex in the back knee, and shifting the weight so that the weight is on the inside part of the leg, and the leg is not so posted straight up, but it's now starting to angle off because you've got the weight shifting towards the inside. So we want to try to get the body to move a little bit in this direction as we are coming down. Actually, as we're going up, we want it to start moving. And then as we start coming down is where we really start to see the hips come out and the body follow. Okay? Also, real quick, the force vector is the angle of the ankle and the knee. It's really, really important that we get that force vector in line with the hip as soon as we get this knee out, because that's where we start our leg drive. And it's really impossible, it's just basically impossible for you to initiate a powerful leg drive if your force vector is vertical. So at this point right here, because your knee now has passed your hip, this angle has to be there. And your angle is here. See how vertical that is? Okay, there's also something called, that you should know, the terminology here. It's called back leg abduction. That's when the body, the front part of the body, all this area here, now starts to leave the back leg, and it creates an angle between the middle part of your body and the back leg. And what we see in high velocity pitchers is that once the knee breaks the front hip, the angle of abduction is very, very high. And let's take a look at your angle of abduction. So I'm going to draw a line from your leg to your hip, and there's your angle, 31 degrees. So in here it's 31 degrees. Okay, but typically what we see in high velocity pitchers is when that knee breaks the hip, their angle of back leg abduction is more here, somewhere close to 50 degrees. Okay, and that's just as a result of early momentum and getting the weight shifted towards the inside part of your leg so you can start moving the body out. And when that happens, the leg will start to get into that linear position that you want. Okay, it's very hard to generate power when you're vertical, because what's happening here scientifically obviously is you're pushing down. against the ground in this type of an angle. So that the action to do that, the reaction of that is to push up. So watch how the body pops up. You do get some extension in the knee, which is good. You get extension in the ankle, but the body's going to pop up instead of driving on a downward plane. So you kind of lift up a little bit here, and everything kind of pops up, and then it comes down. And of course it happens late, so you don't get off the rubber. Your foot still stays on the rubber even when you touch down. Okay? So let's continue to think this through, even though you're not going to work on all this at once. Just so you have the knowledge that we need to get this force vector linear, and we need to start moving the body out as we move down. And with you being right now only like 5'7", maybe 5'8", you're probably, I don't know, I'm going to guess probably like 150 pounds, maybe 145 pounds, maybe a little bit more. But that's a smaller pitcher. You know, when we're talking about high velocity pitchers that are in the pros, these guys are pretty big guys, so they have a lot of mass. So again, when you get that force vector down low, you're going to lower your center of gravity, and you're not going to pop up so high here. Look at how high your center of gravity is. Smaller pitchers that are under 6 feet tall need to get a lower center of gravity, take advantage of all the ground forces, and to power their stride by staying lower, which will power the hips faster and will open them up and then catapult the rest of your body forward. Okay? So that's about it for this video. Oh, no, it's not. I want to show you a couple more things. Look at the difference already in the flexibility of your throwing arm. And of course, this is just going to come with more throwing. The last time I took this, you were at one, I think you were at one, somewhere up. Yeah, you were in the one, you were like 135. And now you're at 157. Now maybe you were at 140. No, you're 145. And now you're at 157. So what's that, 10, 11, 12 degrees difference already in flexibility. And one more thing I want to show you quick is when you're at ball release right here, as the ball leaves the hand, you were at a 60-degree angle, and now you're at a 56. So there's more flexibility there. Okay? Good job during your first lesson there, and we'll keep working on some mobility and flexibility and stretching qualities of the body and all that to really improve your range of motion. Okay, range of motion is so important, so your arm lays back a little bit better and it internally rotates better at the end. All right, good job. We will talk to you next week.